in order to prepare a satisfying dish to accompany my husband's wine. Today, I once again entered the mountains to capture the river dragons. Greetings everyone, I am Ahua. Today we shall not hunt in the puddles, but directly challenge the tributary connected to the great river. This place is truly a treasure of geomantic fortune. I must carry the old equipment to pump water and catch fish for my husband and for his companions to enjoy fragrant roasted fish. Following old rules. First, find a relatively flat spot to place the water pump. Then put the inlet pipe into the river and fill it with water. Carefully attach it to the machine. Though the steps look cumbersome, they are the key to success. Not a single step may go wrong. To keep the pump from shifting or toppling over, I specially found a wooden stick to secure it by the riverside, used a rope to tie the machine in place, and placed a large stone behind it as support. Only with triple protection can I feel at ease. All preparations complete, I lifted a bucket and filled the pump with water. Walked to the back and pulled the switch. With a rushing sound, the water began to pour out endlessly. Today's task is by no means small. The river is long and wide. Fortunately, the water is not too deep, though the rushing water splashes. Thinking of soon catching fish with my own hands, strength surges through my whole body. I walked around the riverbank to observe the surroundings. The upstream and downstream water levels are rather shallow, and the fish can be seen scattering with the naked eye. My excitement could hardly be restrained. I quickly stepped into the water to pick up fallen leaves, then ran to the inlet pipe to clear debris and silt, fearing the pipe might clog and slow the water pumping. Today I must exert myself fully. To be honest, I truly love this life. Simple and without burdens, and catching fish brings endless joy. Sitting by the riverbank watching the water level slowly drop, my mind already planning how the basin will enter the water later, and how to trap the fish. The more I thought, the more excited I became. Because the water is shallow, and the current gentle, the fish are lively. I could not resist reaching in early to feel around. Though the river spans wide, catching fish indeed takes some effort. Yet before long, I had already secured a sizable fish. Overjoyed, I hurried ashore to place it in the bucket. There was even a particularly mischievous one. It thrashed its tail in my hands, struggling fiercely. Fortunately, my reflexes were swift. In the end, I still managed to hold it steady. The thrill of catching fish is truly exhilarating. Fish in these tributaries thrive in fine surroundings. Their flesh is especially tender and fresh, far tastier than common fish. In small holes along the riverbank, I found several more. Some even swam near the inlet pipe as if offering themselves. In just a short while, before the water was fully drained, I had already caught many, each one of excellent quality. As I caught fish, I kept clearing the inlet pipe, never daring to pause for a moment, for fear the pipe might clog and hinder the pumping. As the water level dropped lower and lower, the hiding places of the fish dwindled, and catching them became increasingly easy. Suddenly the pump made an unusual noise. I rushed ashore and shut the machine off, then plunged back into the water to feel around. Many fish had hidden beside the tree roots. I caught them one by one with my hands. Today's harvest is truly abundant. The more I caught, the more fish there were. Not only enough for my household, but enough to sell some as well. Truly the makings of a prosperous little day. In our region, many people love eating fish. Wild fish of such fine quality are always in high demand. I searched the river back and forth, feeling through every corner again and again, until I caught the last fish near the inlet pipe. Confirming none had slipped away, only then did I reluctantly return to the bucket, washed my hands clean, lifted the heavy bucket ashore, and showed everyone today's spoils. A bucket full of lively fresh fish. Enough for my husband and his companions to feast to their heart's content. If you to enjoy this fiery, yet carefree countryside life, don't forget to give me a follow. In order to prepare a satisfying dish to accompany my husband's wine, today I headed into the mountains once again to catch fish. Hello everyone, I'm Ahua. Today I've discovered yet another excellent spot. The place we've come to today. Whenever the main river swells with rising water, its waters flow inward, forming this natural pool. At first glance, it's clearly a treasure trove for fish. I'm full of anticipation for today's harvest. As usual, we'll pump the water and catch fish. First, I take up the hoe and tidy the edges of the pool. If the sides are messy, there will be nowhere to stand later when catching fish. After tidying the area, I toss the pump's water pipe onto the bank. Then take the machine out of the basket and set it in place. Adjust its direction and secure it firmly. Only then do I step into the pool to fill the inlet pipe with water. This step is the key among all keys. If the water doesn't fill properly, the pump won't function as it should, and the fish catching that follows would be ruined. After securing the pump completely, I push the other end of the inlet pipe deep into the pool, even finding two wooden sticks to reinforce it again. Can't risk the machine flipping over while pumping. Right after that, I grab the bucket and pour water steadily into the pump. Once it's filled, I go around the back and pull the switch. With a rush, the water starts flowing outward. What follows now is simply waiting patiently. I stood on the bank and took a look. There's really quite a lot of water in this pool. Unable to sit still, I quickly cleared away the leaves and debris floating on the surface, worried they might clog the pipe. After cleaning, I crouched on the bank, my heart filled with anticipation. No one knows how many fish are hiding inside. Everything is still a mystery, just hoping to spot fish soon, so I can finally feel assured. In order to pump the water more cleanly, I picked up a small hoe again and dug out the mud at the pump's inlet, trying to bury the pipe as deep as possible. This pool is big and fairly deep. Draining it is truly a major task. Both my hands kept clearing debris on the surface, and my eyes didn't dare look away. Just watch the water level drop faster. Friends often ask me, "Ahua, how much money do you make catching fish every day?" In fact, catching fish is purely my hobby. If I catch a lot, I sell some. If only a little, I eat it myself. Filming short videos is mainly to record my life. If you ever have the chance to visit our place, I will surely take you to experience the fun of catching fish. But today the pumping was a bit slow. There was too much water. It took forever to pump. The water level barely went down. I kept rushing into the pit to clear debris. I was so anxious inside, but could only wait slowly. Luckily, as time passed, the water finally dropped visibly. I quickly turned off the pump, grabbed my bucket, and went down to catch fish. Finally, the most exciting moment arrived. Just bent down and touched a fish. My luck was really good. There wasn't much deep mud in the pit. Catching fish was smooth and easy. In no time I had already caught two. I played with the fish in the water. With years of fishing experience, it felt like second nature. Look at the quality of these fish, though some big and some small. They were all lively. Today's ingredients for braised fish for my husband were pretty much secured. My husband nags every day telling me to catch more fish. He's like fresh chives waiting to be cut, and I always try to meet his little requests. Fortunately, our environment is great. Resources are rich, so I always complete his quota. Sometimes when there's extra, I can even sell some to support the household. But the water in this pit was a bit muddy. Catching fish depended entirely on touch. I used all my strength, feeling from one end to the other. Only then did I catch them one by one. To be honest, today's harvest wasn't as much as I imagined. The fish were especially naughty, darting around in the water, circling back and forth with me. It really wasn't easy to catch them, but an unexpected joy happened. I even caught a redfish. Truly didn't expect it. My heart was overflowing with happiness. I felt around in the puddle for a while longer. After confirming there was no more movement, I lifted the water bucket and went ashore. Let me show you today's harvest. If you also like this kind of rural life filled with real human warmth and the smoke and fire atmosphere of daily living, don't forget to give me a follow. I'll bring you more interesting fish catching stories in the future.